Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living here in my living room. We're so happy to have you here. We are waiting for our brand new building to be ready. So we're doing other things. We're doing what else is possible. We're meeting in different places. We're meeting in parks and we're meeting in living rooms, and we're excited to be together until we get our new space ready. So thank you for joining us. We're going to be here obviously today and next Sunday as well. So if you didn't get a chance to come today, come next Sunday. We'd love to have you. And I am very excited to introduce our senior minister, Reverend Sharon Dunn-Alberg, who's going to lead us for the rest of this beautiful morning.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm the practitioner of the day, and what that means is that even though I'm a minister, I'm always a practitioner first. And what that means is that we go through the classes and we take the prerequisites, and then we panel for practitioner 1, which is a year-long course, and then we panel again to get into prac 2, which is another year, and then we panel again to get our license, and then we have a lifetime of being the healing arm of the center, as well as we have to have education units. Every year we have to have service units. So it's quite an endeavor. And then should you feel the call, then I went on to ministerial school, went to seminary at the Holmes Institute, and got my master's in consciousness studies. So then there's more. Then there's a 3-year ordination path, where again you have a mentor, a sponsor, you have to have so many this and that's and this and that's. And then you panel again, and then you're licensed for life. So I have the Lifetime Achievement Award, which makes me able to pray, which also means that if you take foundations, you are able to pray in our way, which doesn't have anything to do with prayer in any other way. All prayers are answered. So we're all practitioners of the teaching, should you go to Foundations, which we'll be teaching in the fall. So I'm going to pray us in. And what I'm going to do this morning is a little different. I'm going to include a few of our members. We have our music director, our co-director, in the hospital right now, doing very well. I say we send them to hospital for safekeeping.
There you go.
Which we did recently for Carol, and we sent her there for safekeeping. And then you're noticing that Cookie is not in the house. She's also in hospital. And we're including her because we sent her there for safekeeping as well. So we're going to include them in our prayers today. So if there's a prayer in your heart, please speak it out, and joyfully we will pray together. So knowing that there's one power and one presence, praise God. Call by many names. Call it by any name. It always answers. The beloved, love, light, harmony, peace, joy, universal mind. Also referred to as avatars such as Buddha or Jesus. We know that spirit is everywhere present in its fullness. And so spirit is in the house. And not just a little bit here, busy somewhere else, but here present as spirit is in the hospital, next to our beloveds, fully present. Spirit is everywhere present. And the power of that love and that wholeness and that peace and that joy permeates every sentient being. And I know that for myself, and I know that for Cookie, and I know that for Laura, and also I know that for their beloveds, so that they feel the presence in peace and comfort and trust and wholeness, that all is well in spirit. And so I declare this beautiful gathering right here and right now perfect, complete, and whole. I give thanks for the music, for the message. I give thanks for the production, for Ruth and Cookie that offer their home, and for all that they have set up, for Doug over there on production, for all this, that we send this out to the world, to our spiritual community, so that it touches like a rippling out. It touches the hearts of everyone, where we are all connected. I am so grateful for this. As I release my word with such thanksgiving, knowing that it is so, and we all join together as I say, and so it is. Hi, Nikki. It's so great to have an audience. I have to say, Sometimes, you know, when I'm on Zoom and I don't have any human beings looking at me and I'm talking, I don't, did they get my joke? You know, and just to have you here, you don't realize what a blessing it is that you've come and given your time this morning so that we can see a smiling face and nods and, you know, whatever it is. Thank you. So we have some readings, and I imagine they're behind me.
They are.
Praise God. Isn't that wonderful? So, and I picked these readings, but I didn't memorize them, so we're going to read together. Error is ever a coward before truth and cannot hide itself from reality, which sees through everything. That's reality with a big R, spirit. Encompasses all and penetrates even the prison walls of the mind with its clear effulgence. 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 What do you say?
It's Ernest Holmes.
Who can say that?
Effulgence.
Okay, everyone has a little different interpretation there. That's wonderful. That's who we are, individual expressions. Here's one, and I'm loving this. I'm going to do this a little bit slower. Warriorship. We're going to be talking about warriors today. Here does not refer to making war on others. Aggression is the source of our problems, not the solution. Here the word warrior is taken from the Tibetan Pao, which literally means one who is brave. And now here is my secret, a very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Isn't that beautiful? Edwin Gaines. When you choose your divine purpose, you are framing your life with meaning. You're also taking an important step in your spiritual development to demonstrate to yourself that you have the power to affect change, that you are bigger, stronger, more powerful, and more creative than you thought. I love that. So now we have the One Heart, One Love Band. One Heart, One Love Band. That's interesting that both of your, that the other half of both of you is in hospital and safekeeping.
In the same hospital.
In the same hospital.
So they missed each other.
Yeah, they missed each other, and so I kind of want to just really acknowledge. Can you imagine they're here upright, taking nourishment and supporting us right now?
Yes.
Yeah. You kind of,
Yes.
you have got to appreciate them with me. Take it away.
This next song, we want to invite you all to sing along with us. It's like a monotone kind of chant, Ra, Ma, Da. So you'll know. Cookie will cue you.
I'm so glad you're here.
flute and your voice on this, but you'll be back soon, I know. I love you.
And if they're watching,
If you're watching, wave.
if you're watching. So, again, I want to thank everybody for being here. It sure does help. It makes it very exciting. Like, I want to do this all the time. A little house concert. Oh yeah, that's right. We have a center. We're going to have this. So we're still in July. We're still speaking truth to circumstance. And today we're talking about the wise warrior. And you know, I had to research the idea of warrior. I wasn't quite sure how I could identify with the warrior until I did my research. And now I'm totally identified as a warrior, and I want to share that with you. And so the wise warrior is one who has developed the warrior's spirit. That's what I've come to. And it's not just becoming something we really are, but also unbecoming who we aren't, really. Isn't that wonderful? You want to hear that again? I made that up. It's not just becoming something we really are, but also unbecoming who we aren't really. True? Always. I think that's forever while we're here, is it not?
Yes.
This is the path of the spiritual warrior. So really my talk today is about the spiritual warrior. So you can relax. Don't worry about it. It's not an aggression. It's not making war on anyone. But it is a wonderful idea. Adam Brady, in fact, he said this, and I posted it on Facebook because I thought it was so amazing. This alert witnessing and understanding of your thought process, or metacognition, allows you to intercept your conditioned behavior so you can course correct toward more conscious choices in thought, word, and deed. That is what we're doing here. But I just thought that was delicious. There was a lot of modern words in there, wasn't there? I mean, metacognition. I'm so hip. It's like, okay, I have that. And so the 3 points I'm going to make today, we're going to talk about the warrior spirit, become the change, and practitioner of truth. You probably get the hint that a spiritual warrior in our teaching is a practitioner of truth. So we're going to put that all together. Now, Ernest Holmes, are the founder of our teaching, the author of the Science of Mind textbook, wrote our What We Believe. You know, our Apostles' Creed, if you ever were Catholic. I'm an integrated Catholic. So I very much enjoy our declaration or principles that starts with we believe. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of the individual, and that any person who lives in close contact with the indwelling God may become a revealer of truth. Perfect for today, correct? I thought so. So I'm going to define the spiritual warrior with you, since I did the research, and you can just sit there and dig it. So last week we explored Hinduism, and we talked about Shiva, standing on Shiva, for any of you who were there or who want to listen to that talk. It's really amazing to get to know Shiva that way, in that context. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Buddha, who founded Buddhism, who is believed to be the 9th avatar of Lord Vishnu in Hinduism. Did you know that? I did not know that. And Buddha attained enlightenment and had helped the people to free them from suffering and pain. And the term spiritual warrior is used in Tibetan Buddhism for one who combats the universal enemy, drum roll, avidya, self-ignorance. Isn't that wonderful? I think it is. The ultimate source of suffering according to Buddhist philosophy? Is it not? Self-ignorance. I just love that. Mm-hmm. The spiritual warrior's only complete and right practice is that which compassionately helps other beings with wisdom. And what do we have to do first? Help ourselves with wisdom. And what do? We have the science of mind. So we have our teachings. And mind you, Ernest Holmes loved all scripture, all teachings, all religions. And that's kind of what we are. We're sort of a hodgepodge of everything. We honor all paths. And we welcome all faiths. And you don't have to give up your faith to come here. In fact, we celebrate each, the different faiths. When we get our own space, we'll be able to enjoy that again. Enjoy Seders and Passovers and Easter and all of it. And so the spiritual warrior's only complete and right practice is that which compassionately indulges in wisdom. And the spiritual warrior is an illuminated heart and valiant one. Enlightenment hero. Isn't that wonderful? Enlightenment. I need a badge. What did my daughter say? Mom, what did she say? You did the thing and you got the t-shirt. Yeah, I want a t-shirt. And so the spiritual warrior archetype helps to constructively answer questions about aggression and competition in a healthy direction. Now, how do we apply this? I'm always applying it as, and I hope you don't get tired of it, but I do watch the news. Is anyone else? Sometimes. I mean, we kind of have to, right? Just to make sure we're still here and no one's, or we, just to make sure that we don't have to jump under the table like we did back in Kennedy's, because of the nuclear weapons coming our way. The best thing to do is just get under the table, because that's going to work.
It's going to work.
And you've got some really good tables here.
Yeah, right?
So I do watch the news, and so I get to practice. I feel like the news is my spiritual practice, because I immediately can get inside it. Does anyone feel like that? I can immediately get, oh my gosh. I can go to those places where I can completely forget who and whose I am in a second. And then I get so absorbed in it, it's like Alice in Wonderland going down that path of forgetting, of self-ignorance. I'm going down that path of self-ignorance, and I'm forgetting everything. And I'm getting caught up in what others are doing. I call it getting caught up in behavior. I get caught up in others' behavior. Does anyone else do that?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you didn't just do that. You didn't just say that. That's kind of my other t-shirt. The spiritual warrior, yes, unlike the soldier character, okay, the spiritual warrior is in touch with the joy, the sadness, the expansiveness in their heart, able to share and give it to others. So the warrior lives from the heart, yes? Not from the ego. And the ego, again, is so wonderful. We love our ego. It keeps us safe, right? It goes first. Is everything okay here? Now you can go. But when you live like that and let the ego go first, you don't have an open heart. I was just with someone yesterday who started to cry. I did a talk in Grass Valley. I went up to Grass Valley and did a talk. And this woman started to cry during the talk because the topic was infant death, which I love. I love being invited to speak about something I'm so familiar with. And she started to cry, and another woman immediately responded to her and said, "Your heart is open." Wasn't that beautiful? Your heart is open. I was just stunned, because the power of the human being is to live with an open heart. But culturally, I'm not sure if that is something we're supported to do. No. And so to be that spiritual warrior, so open-hearted and defenseless, and powerful at the same time. That is, I've been told that tears are the power of a woman. And when we can't shed our tears, I think it's the power of a man too. And it's cleansing. Without that, I think we just kind of get dusty, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We can't see clearly. But I'm not sure culturally we get that kind of support. I don't think we walk around saying, oh, please do cry. Please do cry. The warrior commits to growing the heart and soul in becoming a creative being. Now, the reason I want to talk about this and define this is because I'm defining who I aspire to be. I'm just letting you all know that this is I'm defining myself in front of you, and this is what I inspire and who I aspire, and hopefully inspire to be. This is like my jam. This is who I came here to be. I'm just telling you, this week, in going here with this topic, I went, well, why don't you just define yourself and know who you are and tell other people? The warrior serves in love of strangers and gives generously while giving to themselves. Oh, that part. Right? The spiritual warrior seeks to change others with rational and compassionate decision-making in service of a higher goal. You didn't hear anything about self in there, selfish. It wasn't, I want you to change because I need you to, which is, I've been there. And so the warrior spirit, the warrior spirit is not about being tough or flexing power over others then, right? It's about standing for something bigger than ourselves. And like the well-trained, I love this, martial artist, when the wise warrior walks into the bar of life, no one picks a fight with them. I just love that. Yes. Their presence is enough. Have you ever said, I am enough? Every day? Twice a day? Please do. I think that's wonderful. The wise warrior is anchored in peace and poise. Okay, I'm working on that. I'm working on the poise part. I'm a very, of course, an extrovert, and of course, explosive and impulsive, right? And so my work is cut out. If I choose to be a spiritual warrior, whoa, Nellie! Wow. They recognize that all is one already, and I do know that. I do know that. All they bring is a recentering into that oneness. And remember that word centering, because this is kind of what the warrior does. Constantly, isn't it? Recentering. It's kind of like a GPS. What is that? God positioning. What's the S? System. Just God positioning system. Recentering. And this is wonderful. Ernest Holmes says, one alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. Isn't that great? I do love that. We all can perceive many things that need to change in the world, but the out there is always a reflection of the in here, whether individually or collectively. Einstein reminds us that we can't solve a problem at the level of consciousness that created the problem. We have to change our thinking. Our consciousness, here it says we must change our thinking and our consciousness. No. We don't change our consciousness. We change our capability to express and experience consciousness. Consciousness is changeless. And I think we get a little mixed up sometimes with those terms, so I'll just correct this author. If you don't mind, which I do periodically. But if you could, but right, I mean, do you agree? Like, consciousness is a thing, it's everything. It's that infinite, it's that forever and ever expanding thing that we tap into. So I guess you could say we're changing our consciousness. I suppose it's semantics, but I want you to get that consciousness is always there at our disposal. I don't like the word disposal, sorry, that didn't sound very, very nice. I'm disposing. Our use, how's that? And so, again, pick one thing You know, I always say, you know, that this is so big, this whole idea of being a, you know, spiritual warrior, because there's so many things in life. You know, how many thoughts do we have, and how many things are we doing, and how many people are we involved in, and how many tasks are we doing, and so how can we walk in the enlightened state? Well, no, not so much. We're human. Pick one thing to change this week. One thing. One thing that, that is not giving me peace. In fact, I'm good until I get to that one thing. Then I'm just, but let's just push that aside. Well, let's just invite that in this week and say, I'm just going to work on that one thing. I'm just going to work that one thing. I'm just going to change that one thing by infusing it with principle. And next, we make a commitment to that one thing just for a week, and we see what happens. The wise warrior takes a step back and centers themselves prior to entering the fray. So you're going to do this consciously. You're going to say, this is the thing I'm going to do this week, and I'm going to constantly center myself before it becomes a thought. Before I enter into the realm of that thing that's not exactly working for me. Maybe we're afraid of something. Maybe we feel a lack of something. Maybe we are in a situation we can't get out of. Maybe we're involved with somebody that we can't get out of. Maybe we have a blood relative that we would like to do better with. Or anyone else have anything? Just one thing that comes to mind? Anybody? No?
Jobs, careers.
Job, career.
Yeah.
Food.
Those are big ones.
Food.
Food is good, yeah.
Food. Right. I'm looking, I think, a month away. No, gosh, 2 weeks. Oh my heavens, I gotta go. 2 weeks and I'm having my first wedding anniversary.
Wow.
And I looked amazing on my wedding day. Because I had a reason to intermittently fast and such. But I married a chef. And yes, food. Thank you so much. And so, food, work.
Somebody with instant negativity.
That's what I was going to think.
Don't bring me down.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just the aging process
Aging.
and all that.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Aging. Yeah.
I'll take that one too.
Okay.
Me too. Things that in my body that aren't working like they used to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we are all in agreement. We could just do one thing. Just do one thing. Because you know what happens when we have success in doing one thing? We're like, oh my, I'm going to then do this other thing. And how about this other thing? And next thing you know, you are sitting back on top of that Buddha rock, looking good, looking really good. Again, instead of getting angry over situations, what we are asking is, what do I want to see here instead? And I am just thrilled by this practice I'm talking about today, because I've had some absolute wonderful manifestations this summer, this summer in the classes I'm taking, and more than just the classes that I'm taking that are supporting my intention. I was like, I really want this thing to happen. I want to be this way in my life. I set an intention and I'm doing everything I can to have that happen. And I've never been more peaceful about that thing that I wanted to change. And I have some mastery. I literally have some mastery. I have some ability now to feel an oncoming reaction. Yikes! I'm like, instead of opening my mouth, because a lot of times what comes out of the mouth, you can't put it back in the mouth, I'm actually keeping the mouth closed. So I'm having this sort of process where I'm actually, you know, and then I think about it and I do my spiritual practice and I come back and I realize it has nothing to do with the other person. That this is an inside job and that my behavior and my reaction don't even have anything to do with this time and space, but rather something that happened a long time ago that needed to be addressed.
Reactive.
There it is. So I am going to continue quickly with the spiritual warrior. What does it mean? The path of a spiritual warrior is not an easy one. Can you imagine? I find that hard to understand on this side of my practice, because once I am on this side of my practice was something that was dissonance for me, I'm a lot happier. What I didn't realize on the other side was I was suffering. What is that? What is that word? Avijja. Avijja is ignorance. And when I was in that place, I was suffering, and I thought, what? I can't. And then when I said I can, I realized what happens is I alleviate the suffering. So it's like, duh, let's get busy here and do the work. However, the rewards are great. Self-liberation from your fears, doubts, small-mindedness, and limiting belief. And what did Buddha say? Buddha said there is suffering. Which, in our teaching, in the infancy of our teaching, acknowledging suffering was a no-no. What you give attention to expands. Turn your back on it. Emma Curtis Hopkins, one of Ernest Holmes' teachers, saw her clients in the dark. She didn't want to see what was wrong. She didn't want to see the circumstance, condition, or situation. We're a little more understanding of the healing process, that stuffing those feelings doesn't work, but that getting them out and to be able to articulate them and analyze them and explore them gives us insight then to create the intention that we want to create, right?
Yes.
It also helps to dialogue with, well, what is the root cause, and let's change that belief that I decided on when I was 4. That isn't working for me anymore. So this is the last part, and I want to give you the qualities of a spiritual warrior, which I thought was really wonderful. Awareness is one. Of course, one has to be aware, an expanded awareness. And as you pay attention to yourself, your thoughts, speech, actions, and beliefs, you deprive ignorance of a fertile field in which it can take root. That is lovely. Courage is the next one. Do not pray for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. And that is Bruce Lee. In other words, none of us are getting out of here, without experiencing what it is to be human. So, why not? So courage is very, very important. Discipline, to control your impulses, desires, or emotions for the sake of improvement, is what I have been living with and really focusing on this summer. And so discipline has been wonderful and very healing. Relentless is the next one. Being relentless refers not to being harsh or inflexible, rather it implies to being persistent and determined. So I like the way they use these terms to seek out the false beliefs, attempts to fool yourself, and ego delusions. So relentless, just be relentless. There is a relentless also means ruthlessly slaying the 1,000-headed dragon of self-importance. Oh, yikes. I have never had any of that. Thank God. And this is my favorite, cunning. Can you believe these words? But I love the way they use them. Cunning, here it is. And, As your awareness and spiritual discipline grows, the warrior of light recognizes the slippery nature of the mind and how easily you can fool yourself. And so we have to be cunning in discovering our cunningness. Is cunningness a word?
It is now.
You therefore must be equally cunning and crafty when it comes to outwitting your habitual thought traps. I love that. Thought traps. I just love that. This is what I put on Facebook with a t-shirt that said Spiritual Warrior. I loved this. This alert witnessing, this is what we're talking about, right? An understanding of your thought process. I'm repeating this because I really want you to love this with me. Or metacognition allows you to intercept your conditioned behaviors so you can course correct toward more conscious choices in thought, word, and deed. Right? Ready? With me. Patience is another one. I would have called this something else. Patience is the next quality. Not everything happens according to your timeline, okay? But I would want to call this trust. In our teaching, isn't it where we kind of let go and let spirit? I don't have to know how God does God's work, which is why I call God Howie. I don't have to know how Howie's got this, right? Mm-hmm. And so I kind of call it trust. And the last one is sweetness. I know. Mm-hmm. These are just so fun. Sweetness refers to impeccability in word and action. The spiritual warrior holds oneself to the highest of standards, refraining from anything that could be considered potentially cruel or harmful. That's my do no harm. This is my I'm considered sweet. Kindness, compassion, and sweetness in the face of anger or ignorance requires enormous strength and understanding. And the last one is love. Removing the veils of love is the spiritual warrior's quest. Do I not say I'm here for 4 letters? That my whole purpose always was, always will be 4 letters, LOVE, to express and experience that principle, to embody it, to get as much of it as I can. And remember, that's a principle that is infinite. So we're never done. We're never done. And so, last but not least, I'm going to, as I blew my cover, a practitioner of truth is what we are in this teaching as spiritual warriors. So it's not really, again, becoming something we aren't, but unbecoming who we aren't really. And ultimately, what we all want is love. What we want is reunion with the divine. Since God is love, that's what we are all seeking. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you're a spiritual warrior?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it cool? I mean, let us pray. I am that is. Knowing that there's a power that has created all creation. The Creator creating creation. This is a loving presence. This is good. It can't be anything else. It can't be opposed. It's infinite. It's eternal. So there can't be an opposing force. There's not an us and them. There is only one. One. And what is so wonderful about this one that has created all sentient beings, all life, is that it is also connected, each one of us, to each other with an umbilicus. We've all been stamped. We all came here with a soul stamped. I am. I am that is. That's the stamp. And that stamp within each one of us is that place where we've never been harmed, never been injured, where we are perfect, complete, and whole. And we can experience that soul here in the human experience. We hold multiple truths simultaneously, and we're at choice. we can always return to that imprint, to that soul that never dies. We leave the body here and we take off in flight to go to the next expression. That love and light and peace and joy is ever expanding, infinite. Therefore, there is no end to our experience of life, of love. And while we're here, we can actually be the best expression of those principles. And so I declare and claim and demand, I commit to this life of love. Yes, I'm going to make mistakes. I am going to trip and fall. I'm going to be tempted. I'm going to be ignorant. But I'm going to be practiced. And when those moments happen, I am somehow, with this intention, reminded of who and whose I am. And that I am a soul connected to all souls. And no matter how you behave, I'm going to see beyond that behavior to the soul of who you are. That love and light, that beautiful, beautiful, compassionate, joy-filled self is the truth of your being and my being. And that's where we're connected forever. That's where we are absolutely correlated. I'm so grateful to know that we can change the world with this knowledge. That our center is the soul of spirit. It's stamped. It's ordained. It is a community bringing people into principle living. Isn't that beautiful? Principle living. I'm so grateful that this prayer is answered. Answered, done in mind, already done. I don't have to know how. I just trust that it is so. And together we say, and so it is. Ashe. Shalom. Principle living.
And principle is that which is true for everyone.
It's amazing. Principle living. I'm going to have to write that down. Oh, I guess it's recorded.
So we're going to do a song for you now, but we'd like for you to participate in this one too. This is a reminder of who and whose we are, and that Spirit is always with us. So let's do this together. We're going to repeat the first verse a couple times, and then the rest of them we'll just do one each.
Can I dedicate it?
I would love that.
I'm going to dedicate this song to Patricia, Reverend Patricia Van Workham. I think this is one of her favorites.
I think so too.
Sing your song in me. Sing your song.
I got so into the music. Wasn't that beautiful? You know, this is our offering time, and I do want to just say a little something different. We put on our donate page on the website a list of our expenses so that you can see why we have offering time on Sundays. And what happens virtually, what literally happens virtually when we are only online is that our tithes are almost non-existent. So there's something about the virtual world that we sort of forget the physical, monetary act of giving. Isn't that funny? It's almost like it's all going to happen virtually. But the lights still have to be on. And you do pay me a salary. Thank you. And we have bills. We don't
We have a SMUD bill now.
we have a SMUD bill, which I don't know what that means, but it's just smutty, and we need to take care of it. And so what I want to bring to mind as a spiritual community is now that we're coming back into the building, it's probably going to be just, normal for us to think about just digging into and putting out into. But just be reminded that when we're watching virtually, try and remember that we're also physical. We have both worlds. So that's my offering. And let's do our affirmation together. And you in the room can say it with me. Abiding by the law of circulation and in heartfelt gratitude, I affirm that I live in a creative and abundant universe that continuously flows in, through, and out as me, expressing as the ever-expanding infinite good. And so it is. And Ruth is going to.
Now for our latest news. So we talked earlier about our new building, and this is a picture of what it looks like now, but it's going to be gorgeous by the time it's done. We have some good news. The permit to replace the roof has been approved. We're just waiting for it to be in the hands of the roofer, and so that's our first step. We have some exciting things coming up because the board was talking the other night about, I might want to donate a toilet, and then I can have a plaque on there. So we're going to have some fun things to do as a community to be involved in this renovation. We'll be able to, bring our paint rollers and our cleaning supplies, and just roll up our sleeves and work together and have some fun with it. So just keep in touch, keep on the website, and find out what's going on, and we'll reach out to everybody and tell you when it's time to have more fun with that. And that's one thing you can do too, is get on Zoom with us on the first and third Fridays to get an update about what's going on with the building. Also, if there's any questions or suggestions about, some more fun things to do, that's the place to come and talk about it and let us know what you're interested in doing. We can't wait to have a place where we can meet at other times besides Sunday mornings. Mm-hmm. It'd be nice to be able to have, meditation time and yoga time, and we're just so excited for that to happen. And I know that there's many people that are waiting for that too. This coming Monday, tomorrow, there's a Busy Hands, Warm Heart time at Reverend Patricia's, and most of you know about that, but if you're interested in coming and haven't been before, give her a jingle or an email and she'll tell you how to get there. Just bring whatever craft you're working on and enjoy some fellowship. And then speaking of our webpage, we have an amazing person who keeps track of our webpage. Jaime keeps it current, and we actually saw him on Zoom on Friday night. It was so good to see him. Thank you, Jaime, for all of your help. So keep track of what's going on our webpage. And especially on Sundays, you can hit that live on YouTube button and watch us right right from YouTube. You can also go to the YouTube channel and watch our Sunday services from the past. It's a great way to catch up if you have been on vacation for a while. So check that out. Really important, and especially as we all have seen here lately with different things happening, prayer requests. You know, our prayer team works on this every day of the week. Any of the prayer requests that go in, Reverend Sharon sends it out to the whole team. And it's amazing, right, Carol, what prayer does and how it really does make a difference in our lives. So check that out and put your prayer requests in.
It's beautiful. So here is our affirmation. Let's say it together. I stand in the power and wholeness of spirit that I am. And you know, you can just affirm all week, I am. I am. I am that is. So before our closing song, I'm going to do a benediction. And again, you know, we are a community, a common unity. And the prayers that we have had the privilege of holding for a week, and we actually do like to hear about demonstrations as well, because then a prayer of gratitude follows. And you know, gratitude is the root of abundance. So, you know, you're not bothering us by any means, quite the contrary, if you tell us, well, you know, that thing worked. I wanted to fly, and I just jumped off a building and flew all the way down. No, don't do that. But it just brings us close together, doesn't it? That we have prayers that we know, you know, even when we don't see each other, we know how we are doing. And I think that's really amazing. So I'm going to do a quick benediction, and then we're going to have our closing song. And I just want to say the names again of Laura and Cookie, who are so important to us. And I'm going to include our center as well, because I see, when I see into the future, it's like looking into that portal of spirit. We have everything we need to open that and look, and it will always be changed forever. It's just going to be big. And so we just center for a moment as spiritual warriors, knowing that we are here purposefully to experience and express and be spirit everywhere present. Yes, everywhere present. And that all is forgiven for where we don't measure up, because it is not our souls, but our humanness that is always seeking to measure up, upward. And everything we do and everything we are is perfect, complete, and whole. And so it is. And so it is.
This song I wrote during the foundations class, Reverend Sharon and Reverend Patricia, and I was very inspired about what the center means to me. And Laura, of course, helped me with some of the words. She's very prolific in her writing, and she has an amazing smile. Don't you agree?
Yes.
She exudes that enthusiasm.
Yes.
I feed off of it, and I can't wait till she's back.
And you know, we were born on the same day.
Oh yeah, they're both cancers, right? You're a cancer too. Well, I'm the crazy Gemini.
I'm a Gemini.
You're a Gemini? It's fun being a Gemini. You don't know who you're going to be. You wake up. Changes every day. And you've got the other one. I'm sorry. Some people come for the message, they come for the music, they come because they want to be connected. They come for the people, they come for the song, they come because they want to belong. Wherever you are in your personal search, you'll belong. We are all one for love. Joy
on production and everyone.